In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can redefine your experience of orgasm to experience non-ejaculatory and full body orgasms. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so that you can magnetize your ideal life. Make sure you grab my free ejaculation control guide through the link in the video description below. And if you're interested in learning more about sexual mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos. So most men associate ejaculation with orgasm. Most men believe that the only type of orgasm they can experience is an ejaculatory orgasm. And there's many reasons for this, mostly because we were conditioned to believe that this is the extent of our orgasmic potential as men. A lot of this comes from porn conditioning. Most of us grew up watching porn, I certainly did, and the ejaculatory orgasm for men is like the big finale. It's like the end goal, it's the be all of sexual experience for us, right? And we get really addicted to that type of orgasm. The problem with the ejaculatory orgasm is that it kind of burns out your chemical receptors in your brain, burns out your nervous system. It leads to a refractory period. It's not a sustainable type of orgasm. And if you're doing this every day, you're basically living in a hangover state. The body's trying to recuperate because, again, it burns the body out, it depletes the body's resources to be creating sperm all the time. So this is why it's important to regulate your ejaculations, practice semen retention. And for me personally, the concept of just trying to suppress your sexuality and say, okay, well, I'm just not gonna have sex anymore, no more sexual pleasure for me because I'm practicing semen retention, that's not the sexual kung fu approach. The sexual kung fu approach is to learn to orgasm without ejaculating. And again, for men, orgasm and ejaculation are two different processes that happen in the body. Ejaculation is simply the pumping of the prostate, sending the sperm flying out the penis. But an orgasm is something different. It's a pulsation, a shift. It's a heightened experience of pleasure in the body that's beyond your normal experience. And men often have a very hard time achieving these non-ejaculatory orgasms and full body states of orgasm because they're so ingrained in their patterns and in their expectation of what an orgasm is, what it should feel like, what it should look like, what's happening in the body. The ejaculatory orgasm is a peak orgasm, meaning that it has a sharp beginning point. It has this, short-lived duration where it peaks and then it drops off. It's over, right? So it's very obvious that it's occurring. It's very apparent when you've arrived in it, and it's very apparent when it's ended because it's so intense. But again, it's also short-lived, and afterwards you feel like you've lost something, you feel depleted, and you can't usually get right back into that peak orgasm state. So it usually leaves you wanting more. It's a bit unfulfilling. So what I challenge you to do is to redefine your definition of orgasm, to redefine your experience of an orgasm. And this takes some rewiring. And that's why in my 6-week course, I teach all these different practices to clear the body, to clear your mind, to clear old belief systems, old patterns ingrained in your body, so that you can have a clear space to build a new experience of sexuality. Because again, most men, when they're trying to experience non-ejaculatory orgasms, they're expecting the equivalent of an ejaculatory orgasm, but without the fluid coming out, like the exact same sensations, the exact same experience. But it's going to be quite different. It can be quite subtle in the beginning, and it's something that must be built upon to where eventually it becomes many, many, many times more intense and more powerful than an ejaculatory orgasm, and much more fulfilling because you don't have that refractory period. So first of all, I challenge you to redefine orgasm as simply a heightened experience, a heightened sensation of pleasure in your body. Simple as that. And when you have that definition, you realize that most of the time during sex or sexual stimulation, you're already having an orgasm. Very subtle, a very low point of an orgasm, but an orgasm nonetheless. And once that becomes your new reference point of what an orgasm is, it liberates you in a way because you're no longer chasing this elusive, high, crazy, mind-blowing peak experience, right? Which of course it can become, but most guys, again, they overlook the experience that they're actually having because they're trying to get to a more intense experience. And this disconnects you from the present moment, this expectation of like, okay, I need to go, more stimulation, more intensity. I need to really force myself into this non-ejaculatory orgasm experience. But doing that actually kills your potential to have that non-ejaculatory orgasm. Too much stimulation kind of burns out your nervous system. It desensitizes you and kind of makes you feel numb in a way, right? So the harder that you try to force yourself into having a non-ejaculatory orgasm, the more difficult it actually is to achieve it. So I want to give you some tools that you can use to start enhancing your sexual experience, to start to rewire yourself so that you can have this heightened state of non-ejaculatory and full body orgasms. So the 3 keys I'm going to share with you are breath, relaxation, and awareness. And these 3 things are very much interlinked. Your breath can affect your relaxation, and you use your awareness to increase your relaxation and to deepen the breath, right? So these things are always connected. Breath is the most simple tool of all because it's something that 24/7 you can be connecting with. Notice your breathing patterns during sex, during solo stimulation, whatever. Notice what is your breath doing. Typically, men, I certainly used to do this myself, there's this pattern of tensing the body, especially as pleasure is increasing. Again, you're trying to force yourself into higher levels of pleasure. You tense up, tensing up the belly, constricting the breath up into the chest. It often becomes very shallow, which causes you to tense up. And because you're tensing up your body, the pleasure is unable to move through your body. Tension blocks the flow of energy in the body. So whenever you're tensing something, you're creating a blockage of the energy basically, right? So deep, slow breathing in and out of your belly, abdominal breathing is the easiest way to magnify pleasure and to actually feel pleasure through the whole body. So you want to experiment with these things, first of all, by yourself. Of course, you can integrate them with a partner, but it's easier to learn to sort of evolve your sexual experience when you don't have the pressure of trying to perform with a partner. Basically, what you would do is stimulate yourself and focus on breathing from your belly. That is your highest priority. Don't worry about, how hard you are or anything else. Just focus completely on your breath and see if you can maintain this deep, slow, conscious belly breathing. And then notice how as your arousal increases and increases, especially as you start getting near the point of no return, the point at which you would ejaculate, notice how you want to tense up at that point. But if you allow yourself to relax more, breathe deeper, how you can start to ride those pleasure waves. And that's where a lot of the orgasm is actually experiencing, is right before the point of no return, when you can really ride that edge, but staying relaxed, keeping the energy flowing through your body by breathing. You can also work with a microcosmic orbit. I haven't really talked about that in this video, but that's a more advanced practice. Basically just an energy channel running up the back of the body, down the front. So by hovering on that edge, close to the point of ejaculation, but not quite there, you keep yourself from going over that edge by relaxing, by breathing deeply and slowly. And just notice how you're able to sustain that high level of pleasure. And eventually that can morph into a full body orgasm. Relaxation is also key. And of course, this is very much in line with the deep breathing, because you can use the deep breathing to help keep yourself relaxed. This links right in with awareness too, right? Because you need awareness of your body to be able to relax your body. So when you're self-stimulating or having sex, whatever, hold your awareness throughout your body and just notice, where am I tensing up? Where am I holding tension? The most common places that men hold tension during sex is their pelvic floor. So you've probably heard, you should do Kegels, or you should squeeze your pelvic floor during sex. I did this for years myself, and what I found was that it actually made me much more sensitive, which of course can make you feel more pleasure in your genitals. But again, the tension of the pelvic floor constricts that energy in the genitals. It actually makes it very easy for you to ejaculate, because the nerves of the sympathetic nervous system are right there in the pelvic floor. So by squeezing that area, you're actually activating the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response, which ejaculation is linked to. So basically, squeezing pelvic floor muscles during sex, during stimulation, equals reaching the point of ejaculation quicker. So again, notice that and keep yourself relaxed as you're stimulating. Also, the belly is a very common point for tension. As I mentioned, when you're having sex, you often tense up the belly and breathe up from the chest. So relax your belly, and you can use the breath. Breathe into the belly, let that expand into the pelvic floor, keeping everything relaxed. And then the other form of tension that most men have is mental tension. There's often a lot of dialogue happening in the mind, especially when you're having sex with a partner. Maybe performance anxiety, maybe you're worried if you're pleasing your partner, or you're worried if you're going to ejaculate too quickly. So there's often all of this mental chatter and tension in your mind, which in turn creates tension in your body and locks down your experience of pleasure. So meditation is a great practice to learn to quiet your mind. But again, this can become your meditation, is practice by yourself, stimulating, relaxing your belly, your whole body, deepening your breath, and relaxing your mind, holding your awareness throughout your body. And again, you can use your awareness to keep yourself from going over the edge. So as your arousal starts to increase, most men are hyper aware of what's happening in their penis during sex, and too much attention here can lead you to an ejaculation because you're so focused on what's happening here, and the mind always guides the energy. So as your arousal is increasing, move your awareness to other areas of your body. Focus more on your belly. Make sure you're breathing deeply. Focus on the area of your head. Focus on your arms, your legs. So move your awareness to other areas of your body and hold them there primarily. When you're at really high states of arousal, try to bring your awareness out of your genitals and primarily in other areas of the body. And notice what that does for your experience of pleasure, but also for your ability to last longer without going over the edge. And it can also really help to take things a bit more slowly. As you're becoming more aroused, slow down the stimulation. Stimulate yourself less intensely. If you're having sex, slow down. There's a tendency to try to imitate porn actors, just go as fast, as hard as you can. And that can feel good in intervals, but when that's what you're doing 100% of the time, you actually kind of numb your nervous system because it just overloads your body. Too much sensation after a period of time, and then you just kind of become numb to it, or it brings you to an ejaculation too quickly. So learn to vary the intensity of stimulation. And when you're working with all these things, again, it's a much different approach to sex. Most men are just frantically thrusting away into their partner, or just, masturbating vigorously, just focusing completely on getting to that ejaculatory orgasm, which only lasts 5 seconds, and you're missing all this potential experience along the way. So when you're integrating all these principles I've talked about, you're integrating breath, relaxation, awareness, then you're completely engaged in the moment, and the whole act of sex or solo stimulation can become one long orgasmic experience. And again, one of the keys to getting into this full body orgasmic state is focus on the pleasure that you're having. Don't worry about trying to bring it to the next level. Just focus on what's there, noticing how good it feels, relaxing into it, breathing deeply, and see if you can get your whole body into that vibrating sexual orgasmic state. So I want to tell you a story about the first time I experienced a full body orgasm, just to give you an idea of what it can be like and some of the things that you can look for when you're on this journey. So it was a few years ago, I was having sex with a partner, and I started to get into this very heightened pleasure. And it started with almost this feeling of butterflies in my stomach, and it started to grow and grow. So it's almost like the orgasm was beginning in my stomach, my belly area, and it started to expand up into my heart, kind of this like excitement rush sort of feeling, but very, very much amplified. And it started to spread to my whole body. My head started to feel like pulsating. It was very similar to that feeling in your penis, when you're about to ejaculate and there's that like very pleasurable pressure, but it was my whole body, and it was incredibly powerful. There was also deep emotional feelings coming up, this deep feeling of connection and almost this psychedelic, expansion of consciousness, like time and space were being altered. It was very, very powerful. It lasted several minutes. And again, it was quite a different experience than the ejaculatory orgasm, because it wasn't just like, oh, bam, I was there. Like when you hit the point of ejaculation, it's this sharp beginning. It really was like waves that built a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And all of a sudden I was in this very heightened, powerful, full body orgasmic state. And in my experience, these full body orgasms are better than any drug, and it's completely natural. They don't have that same drop off in your overall mood, your hormone levels, your dopamine, like ejaculatory orgasms cause. So they're much more holistic and overall beneficial. You feel light, you feel energized, you feel healed after having this type of orgasmic experience. Thank you for watching this video. I guarantee that if you implement the advice that I've given you, implement the concepts I've talked about in this video, that you will really take your sexual experience to a much higher level. You know, be a better lover for your partner, a better lover for yourself, and just overall have more vitality, more enjoyment out of sex and out of life in general. If you want to learn more about how to experience full body orgasms, non-ejaculatory orgasms, how to clear your old sexual habits, how to channel sexual energy throughout the body more directly to experience really powerful non-ejaculatory orgasms and last for hours in bed, check out my 6-week course, Multi-Orgasmic Man. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and let me know in the comments below, have you experienced a full body orgasm? And what was it like? I'd love to hear. Have a great day, my friends.